I may have just played my last game of Dungeons and Dragons. That's not true. That's not true, and I'm not a system shamer. I love telling people about other TTRPGs, but I am never going to shame you for playing the game you love to play. And I still play D&D as well. But every now and then, a game comes along that is just everything that you ever wanted in a game. And you know that once you get this to the table, as long as you're finding other people who enjoy it as much as you, this is probably going to become your new main game. And that is why I am so excited to tell you about Mappa Mundi. This is a game that I feel like was almost made for me as a player who got my roots in Call of Cthulhu. That's actually where I started to play before Dungeons and Dragons. And for those of you out there who have played, a Call of Cthulhu game, or maybe multiple games, you're a very squishy human being. It's not some epic fantasy where you're this strong warrior. You're a squishy human, and because you're a squishy human, you don't spend a lot of the time fighting these horrible eldritch monsters. So much of your time is spent in the research and investigation phase, with some peril, and then contrast that with D&D. You have this fantasy setting where combat is one of the main pillars. It's part of the core of the game. There's nothing wrong with those things, but what I love about Mappa Mundi is it takes the fantasy and high risk, high stakes setting of a Dungeons and Dragons style sword and sorcery game and mixes that with the investigation and role play heavy style of Call of Cthulhu playing. And the game is built for that explorative investigative play. We are trading in character classes for licensed explorers, and we have different licenses. You have archivist, a diviner, a fixer, a guardian. This is to build an ecological exploration team to go out and support each other, all with their different strengths and weaknesses. The other really exciting thing about this game, the thing that just has me just singing from my soul, excited to play this game, is collaboration. I think a lot of us, if you're watching this, if you're a dungeon master, we all go through this evolutionary path where we eventually get the religion. We all get that after a while, we will make our lives so much easier and also make the game much more enriching for our players when we collaborate with them on storytelling and world building and descriptions. Whether that's, having them walk into a tavern in your game and having them say, what do you see in the tavern, and let them help build that setting, or getting into the real heavy stuff like playing a quiet year or microscope, where you are both just actively working and playing together to build something really cool that would only be as special and unique as it is because you all have a hand in it. What I am so pleased to see in Mappa Mundi is this is a game where that is baked in. They have collaboration baked into the game. There are moments that they specifically tell you to pause and let a player shape a environment or a monster or something like that. It is there. It is part of the game. They've recognized how important this is and how it just enhances your games. I'm going to call it the MSG of TTRPGs. It is such a flavor enhancer because it keeps you on your toes as the game master. You can't have everything planned out ahead of time if you're allowing your players to help shape things like this, and it keeps it spicy for you. So we're going to keep that the MSG of TTRPGs. Started here first. In talking about monsters, let's talk about monsters. I have a feeling I'm probably not the only GM out there who, if I pick up a new book, a new TTRPG book, when I open it up, I'm going right to their bestiary because I feel like that is such a unique opportunity to see the creativity of the author, of the creator of the game, and to see what kind of adversaries they see in their world. What kind of challenges are the players going to face? And we learn so much about that by seeing their monsters. And you can't go wrong with what we're going to see in Mappa Mundi. I am so excited to encounter these beasts. Now, I want to point out again, what makes this game unique is you're not going to, at least as this game is written, you're not going to go out and slay these monsters. You are an ecological team. You are going out to do research and learn behavior, and it's still going to take, your skills, and you're going to be challenged, very similar to a combat encounter. But this isn't, we're not going out there to kill the beauty of nature in this unique world. What this game also kind of reminds me of is a child growing up in the 80s and 90s when everybody was either playing or complaining about Doom or Duke Nukem, which are great games, but then to have something like Myst come out, which was an opportunity to use the mechanical platform of a video game experience to take things in a different directions, where it wasn't as violent, it took more critical thinking, and there was also kind of for the first time a recognition of the digital art that is in these games and appreciation for a deep, rich lore. So Amazing Monsters, they have a really cool card system. I am not a huge fan of extra stuff in my TTRPG games, but that's really only if they're more for fluff and not necessary. I love the role that these cards play in this game. The art is fantastic. They look great, but then you'll notice they're double-sided, and you can flip them one way or the other. What's interesting is the players in the early start of the game start investigating. They will unlock these locations as represented in the cards, but the way the card is right now, that is going to be a challenging location for them once they do encounter it. Once the active part of the hunt begins for these creatures. But if they do their research, if they learn as much about these locations as they possibly can, that card gets flipped, and you can see that's that nicer image. What that represents is now when the players encounter this environment, because they have properly researched it, it's not going to be a perilous and high-stakes challenge like it could have been. If you're watching this right now, the game launches tomorrow. I hope you understand that where I'm at with this, I am absolutely all in. Again, so excited. Hope you jump over to their Kickstarter. Right now, it is at the top of my link tree because this is a project that I believe in. I'm not being paid at all to say this. This is just a game that I didn't even know I was waiting for, but I've been waiting for this game. I want to leave you with one last thing. This seems like such a great game for a DM, GM who loves to world build, who loves to create their own lore, because so much of this game is rewarding player research with story and lore and little clues and nuggets and tidbits and Easter eggs. So if that is what you love to bring to the table as a DM, and you have players who love to explore and learn lore and things like that, this is going to be such an amazing game. They have their own cool setting as to, what this fantasy world is. It's an alternative Earth setting set in this kind of future fantasy world where different parts of the world have been cut off from this event called the Flux, and history is deteriorating. We're not communicating with one another as much as we used to because there were these barriers. So as part of the Mappa Mundi crew, you're going out to do that research to reclaim that knowledge and reestablish links. And it just sounds so cool. So keep an eye out. Definitely hear more from me on this. I will take some deeper dives. But check out Mappa Mundi on Kickstarter starting February 4th, which is of this video. That's tomorrow. Have a great one.
He's got a beard. He's got some dice. He'll give fate a chance and bring your soul to life. Beardic inspiration, the finest incarnation. Beardic inspiration, hey.